Let's begin with the latest from Israel. And Israeli defense forces intercepted Iranian missiles. In fact, they put out a tweet. I'll just read the tweet to you. An additional barrage of missiles was launched towards the state of Israel. You are requested, Israelis, to continue to follow the instructions of the Home Front Command and the instructions sent to you. The Area Defense Array is currently identifying and intercepting launches. This is the latest coming in from Israel, and the IDF put out a tweet to Israelis saying that an additional barrage of missiles was launched towards the state of Israel. You are requested to continue to follow the instructions of the Home Front Command and the instructions sent to you. The Area Defense Array is currently identifying and intercepting the launches. Another breaking news: air raid sirens sounded in Tel Aviv following the identification of missiles from Iran towards Israel, and that's according to Israel's defense forces. Iranian state television says new round of honest promised 3 attacks, referring to the name of the Iranian military operation against Israel following the deadly Israeli strikes on the Islamic Republic. Once again, this is from Iran this time, and says that sirens were sounded as the Operation Honest 3 continues. This is in retaliation to Israeli missiles which were fired towards Iran and targeted their nuclear facilities. We also have another breaking news. Several people were hurt and homes were heavily damaged in central Israel due to an Iranian ballistic missile impact. Medics are treating around 10 people in light to moderate condition. The injured were reportedly hit near private homes in the coastal plain sector. This is from the Israel medics, and they say that several people were hurt and homes were heavily damaged in central Israel due to an Iranian ballistic missile impact. Medics are treating around 10 people in light to moderate condition. The injured were reportedly hit near private homes in the coastal plain sector. All right, so this is the latest we are getting from Israel, and the Israel medics are saying that several people were hurt and homes were heavily damaged in central Israel due to an Iranian ballistic missile impact. Medics are treating around 10 people from light to moderate condition. The injured were reportedly hit near private homes in the coastal plains. Now, the state television in Iran says that Iran launched a fresh wave of attacks on Israel early on Saturday. The state media says after Israel's military reported it detected inbound missiles from Iran. New round of honest promised 3 attacks, the state television reported, referring to the name of the Iranian military operation against Israel following deadly Israeli strikes on the Islamic Republic. And the MDA, this is the medical department in Israel, has put out a statement. Magen David Adom, who's the head of this program, says its medics are treating 10 people in light to moderate condition. Several people were wounded and a number of homes were heavily damaged by an Iranian ballistic missile impact in central Israel. Let's talk to Peter Kuznick, who is a defense expert and the director of the Nuclear Studies Institute at the American University. Mr. Kuznick, good to see you. Thank you very much for making time for us, and welcome to the broadcast. To what end do you think this war will go?
It's hard to know at this point. The Israelis have relatively enormous capabilities militarily, strongest military in the region, one of the strongest, best trained, best equipped militaries in the world. And the Iranians have quite a few ballistic missiles at their disposal. The estimate was that Iran had more than 3,000 ballistic missiles. Some of those were degraded last October. More of them were hit again by Israel at the start of this attack. But if they've still got a couple thousand ballistic missiles, so far they've only fired little more than 200 at Israel, and we're already seeing damage inside Israel. Iran can overwhelm Israel's Iron Dome and David Sling and their other defense systems, and can inflict heavy damage in Israel. Israel can apparently inflict unlimited damage inside Iran. So Israel is far more capable, far more potent, far more better armed, and they have the U.S., their big brother, coming to defend them and shoot down the missiles. So this could go on for days, it could go on for weeks, could even go on for months.
Professor Kuznick, America says that it's not involved in this war. It actually says that they heard about the missiles way before they heard about the strikes way before they began. But how much of an involvement do you think the United States is in this war?
Well, the United States has been arming Israel, providing weapons, providing financial aid, providing cover at the United Nations, vetoing resolutions in the Security Council that are against what Israel has been doing in Gaza. And so now Trump says he wants to be a peacemaker and he wants a deal. But everybody knows that the deal that Trump is proposing is a non-starter for Iran. Under the JCPOA, the Iran nuclear deal, and under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty that Iran is a signatory to, Iran can enrich uranium. All the signatories to the NPT can enrich uranium for use in their own nuclear power plants. And so Iran was enriching to 3.67% under the original Iran nuclear deal. But then Trump destroyed the Iran nuclear deal. He threw it out. He abrogated it. And then Iran started to enrich to 60%. But they said they were willing to give that up. All that 60% enriched uranium they were going to give to Russia, and Russia was going to fashion some of that for use in Iran's nuclear facility at Bashir to produce nuclear power. So Iran was playing ball, and they were willing to go back to pretty much the terms that Obama had negotiated in 2015 that had worked very, very well until 2018 when Trump blew it up. Iran was a year away or more from developing a nuclear weapon at that point. At this point, they were weeks away. We don't know how much has been destroyed. It looks like Israel inflicted heavy damage at the Natanz facility, but the Fordow facility and Isfahan, Fordow especially, is a half-mile underground, buried inside a mountain and very, very hardened. Israel does not really have the capability to destroy that, does not have the kind of bunker buster bombs that could do that. Israel could do it with its nuclear weapons. So far, it has not crossed that threshold. But there's a good reason why Tulsi Gabbard, the Director of National Intelligence, issued a warning, a desperate plea in a video 2 days ago from Hiroshima, in which she said the world is on the verge of nuclear war, the closest we've ever been. She must have known that this was coming, as Trump knew this was coming, and she was sending a warning. This is a very, very, very dangerous, precarious moment.
Professor Kuznick, do you think Israel is playing or was playing spoil sport at this moment? And why do you think Israel instigated this war?
Israel saw an opportunity to destroy Iran's offensive capabilities. Netanyahu claimed that this was an existential threat to Israel, just as he claims that Hamas represents an existential threat to Israel. Neither is true for a minute. However, he says that, and then he goes on to lie about the situation. It's very, very dangerous and very unfortunate. Iran was months away, if not more than a year away, from developing a delivery system that actually could deliver a nuclear weapon, even if they had a nuclear weapon, and they were weeks, if not months away from developing a nuclear weapon. But they were negotiating, and apparently in good faith, willing to give up their nuclear program in return for lifting sanctions and for a peaceful resolution there. However, Trump, in his stupidity, his backwardness, his incapacity to negotiate, drew a red line that no enrichment was going to be allowed. And Iran could never accept that. No country would accept that. And so this was an unnecessary war. We've seen so many unnecessary wars lately. The invasion of Ukraine should never have happened. This war, even the attack on October 7th, horrific as it was, should never have happened. And this war should never have started either. We have to, as a species, go back to diplomacy, go back to resolving crises peacefully. These military efforts, Israel very adeptly, Mossad's effort and the Israeli Defense Force, what they pulled off inside Iran was brilliant. And they were effectively able to attack inside Iran, kill their nuclear scientists, kill their military leaders, and destroy much of their offensive capability. However, this could give Israel a short-term victory, but if they succeed in the short term, Iran will very likely rush as fast as they can to develop a nuclear weapon, which they're going to see as the only deterrent against another Israeli attack.
Right.
If Iran develops a nuclear weapon, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Egypt, Turkey will all go nuclear also. And if that happens, we've got nuclear anarchy in a very volatile, explosive region. The world is be so much better off to resolve this peacefully, diplomatically.
Professor Kuznick, stay with me. This is live in Israel. We are receiving these visuals from an area called Rishon LeZion from Israel, where a missile launched from Iran hit, and those are fast responders responding to this missile attack from Iran. And the IDF did put out a statement cautioning the residents in Israel to stay put and to stay in their bunkers, because they do understand, or they have reports that several missiles were launched from Iran. And the medical institution in Israel did also put out a statement saying that several people were wounded and a number of homes were heavily damaged by an Iranian ballistic missile impact in central Israel. Magen David Adom says its medics are treating 10 people in light to moderate condition. Once again, this is live on your screen in an area called Rishon LeZion in Israel, where missile launched from Iran hit, and what you see on your screen are responders attending to that scene. We still have Mr. or Professor Kuznick with us. Professor Kuznick, where does this situation leave the talks between America and Iran?
Donald Trump has come out very, very publicly supporting Israel. The U.S. is helping Israel shoot down the incoming missiles, which means that Iran has warned before that not only will this end the negotiations, but Iran will leave the NPT, kick out the IAEA investigators, and pretty much become blind to the rest of the world. So I think that the talks between the U.S. and Iran are dead at this point. We don't know what it means going forward. Witkoff is in the region, but the Iranians certainly are not going to be meeting with the United States at this point, given the U.S. endorsement of support for what Israel is doing. Had Trump really wanted to stop Israel from doing this, he could have made clear that the U.S. would cut off all weapons deliveries and all aid to Israel if Israel blew up the negotiations by attacking Iran. But Trump did not do that. Trump has been, if anything, complicit in this attack, and a big part of his base is outraged by what's happening. One of the leading Republicans and Trump supporters said that his email is running 99-1 against what Israel is doing and for U.S. support for this. So we know that a big part of the MAGA base is isolationist and doesn't want to see the U.S. get dragged into a war in the Middle East.
Professor Kuznick, very quickly as we wrap this up, while leaders are urging restraint, we have the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres saying that this needs to stop now. Who do you think will blink first, Iran or Israel?
Well, Israel controls the cards in this one. Israel was the initiator. Israel launched this attack. Iran responding defensively, but Israel is so overwhelmingly more powerful than Iran at this point. So Israel will have to not only call it off, but the Iranians are going to have to, they've been humiliated, they've been outfoxed, they've been suffering the casualties, and they've been the ones who've been taking the hits so far, much more than Israel. So will Iran agree to that? We don't know. We don't know what this is going to do. But inside Iran, they were very divided. While Khamenei said that the talks go on, there's a hardline faction in Iran that didn't want negotiations with the United States, didn't trust Israel or the United States. Those are the ones who have been proven to be right by this attack. So what we're likely to see inside Iran is the hardliners, the extremists, the zealots have more power, and these are the more oppressive elements inside that government. So even though the heads of the Revolutionary Guard may have been eliminated in this strike, I fear that the hardliners are going to prevail inside Iran, and things are going to go from bad to worse throughout the region.
Professor Peter Kuznick, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for talking to us today.
My pleasure.